Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most remarkable engineering achievements in aviation history, the SR-71 Blackbird. Known as the world's fastest jet-propelled aircraft, the SR-71 wasn't just a machine, it was a statement. A symbol of power, secrecy, and technological brilliance that emerged during one of the most intense periods in global politics, the Cold War. But even more fascinating than its record-breaking performance is the fact that, to this day, no one has been able to build another aircraft like it. Despite all our modern advancements, the Blackbird remains unmatched, and the reasons behind that are as complex as the plane itself. Built by Lockheed Martin's legendary Skunk Works division, the SR-71 was developed in the 1960s as a successor to the U-2 spyplane. Its mission was simple in concept but nearly impossible in execution: fly higher and faster than any enemy missile, capturing critical intelligence from deep within enemy territory, and get back before anyone could react. To accomplish this, the aircraft needed to be like nothing the world had ever seen. And that's exactly what it became. Its appearance alone sets it apart. Long, sleek, and intimidating, the SR-71 was built for both speed and stealth. The body was shaped to reduce its radar cross-section, making it one of the first stealth aircraft ever developed. Its jet black paint wasn't just for style, it helped dissipate heat and contributed to radar absorption. Every inch of the SR-71's exterior was designed for maximum aerodynamic efficiency and survivability. At over 107 feet long with a wingspan of 55 feet, the aircraft had a commanding presence. But what truly made the exterior stand out was its unique engineering materials. Nearly the entire structure was made from titanium, a metal capable of withstanding the extreme heat generated from flying at over 3 times the speed of sound. This wasn't easy. In fact, the US had to obtain titanium covertly from the very nation it was spying on, the Soviet Union. Through a series of front companies and secret deals, tons of raw titanium were imported and turned into a high-speed reconnaissance weapon that would define a generation. Inside the SR-71, the experience was as intense as the mission itself. The cockpit was tight and purely functional. It seated two, a pilot and a reconnaissance systems officer, both of whom wore pressurized suits similar to those used by astronauts. These suits protected them from the harsh conditions of high-altitude flight, where oxygen is sparse and temperatures swing wildly. The interior was filled with analog instruments, carefully arranged to allow full control of the aircraft under immense pressure. Comfort was secondary, survival and performance were the priorities. The crew worked in a pressurized capsule, relying on advanced navigation systems and onboard computers to guide them through missions that often pushed the limits of technology and the human body. In terms of performance, the SR-71 Blackbird was peerless. It could fly at speeds exceeding Mach 3.3, that's more than 3,500 kilometers per hour, and reach altitudes above 85,000 feet. At those heights, the curvature of the Earth became visible, and the sky turned dark blue to black. Flying that high and fast meant that even the most advanced missiles at the time couldn't catch it. If the Blackbird was spotted and a missile was launched, the pilot's response was simple: accelerate. The aircraft was so fast that it could outpace its own radar lock, and no surface-to-air missile ever succeeded in shooting one down. But this kind of performance didn't come easily. The engines, Pratt & Whitney J58S, were engineering marvels. At lower speeds, they acted as turbojets, but at higher speeds, they functioned more like ramjets. These engines were designed to operate continuously at high temperatures, often pushing the boundaries of what was mechanically possible. The heat generated by air friction alone was enough to cause the aircraft's skin to heat up to over 600 degrees Fahrenheit. As a result, the aircraft expanded in flight, so much so that on the ground, fuel would leak from the seams, only sealing shut once the aircraft reached operational temperature in the air. The Blackbird's approach to safety was unlike anything else in aviation. Instead of relying on countermeasures or onboard weapons, its defense mechanism was its unmatched speed and altitude. It couldn't be caught, and that was its shield. However, safety protocols for the crew were extensive. Ejection seats were built for extreme altitudes and speeds, and the pressure suits ensured the crew could survive even in the case of cabin depressurization. The plane also carried specialized life support systems, escape pods, and redundant systems to account for failure at any phase of flight. Despite the extreme stress it endured, the State Route 71 had a surprisingly low accident rate considering its complexity. What makes the State Route 71 truly unique isn't just what it did, but how it was built. Much of the technology needed to produce it didn't exist at the time. It had to be invented from scratch. From heat-resistant fuels to custom lubricants and entirely new manufacturing processes, the State Route 71 was born from innovation at every level. It was the product of an era where money, time, and resources were poured into creating the best, not the cheapest or easiest, solution. The Blackbird program brought together the best minds in engineering, materials science, and aerodynamics, working under immense secrecy to deliver a capability that no one else had. The cost of this capability was enormous. Each State Route 71 unit cost around $34 million in the 1960s, equivalent to over $300 million today. And that didn't include the extensive infrastructure needed to operate the aircraft, specialized hangars, trained personnel, tanker aircraft for mid-air refueling, and a constant supply of parts that had to be manufactured under the most stringent conditions. Operating the State Route 71 was so expensive that it eventually became unsustainable in the eyes of military planners looking for more cost-effective solutions. So, with all the advancements in modern technology, why hasn't anyone rebuilt something like the Blackbird? The answer lies in a mix of lost knowledge, shifting priorities, and changing geopolitical needs. Many of the engineers and craftsmen who built the State Route 71 have since retired or passed away, taking with them expertise that wasn't fully documented. The tooling and materials used are no longer in production, and the specialized facilities required to build such an aircraft have long been decommissioned or repurposed. In addition, modern warfare has shifted focus from high-speed reconnaissance to stealth and unmanned surveillance. Satellites and drones now perform many of the tasks once assigned to the Blackbird, and while they may lack the speed and manned element, they are cheaper, easier to deploy, and less politically risky. But even among these newer technologies, none have matched the Blackbird's combination of speed, altitude, and resilience. It was built for a specific time, for specific missions, and in an environment where failure was not an option. That moment in history can't be recreated, and so, neither can the State Route 71. It was a machine built not just with materials and labor, but with a mindset, a daring, fearless pursuit of the impossible. Today, the State Route 71 sits in museums, admired by those who remember it and studied by those who never had the chance to see it fly. It remains a benchmark, a ghost of the skies that reminds us of what humans can achieve when ambition, innovation, and urgency align perfectly. In the end, the State Route 71 Blackbird is more than an aircraft. It is a legend. A masterpiece born from the Cold War, forged in secrecy, and operated with unmatched precision. While we may never see anything quite like it again, its legacy continues to influence aviation and aerospace to this day. Its story is not just one of speed, altitude, and stealth, it's a story of pushing boundaries, breaking limits, and soaring higher than anyone ever thought possible.